Greetings, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining. This is Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi, part of the Good Life program on healthy aging brought to you by UC Davis and the City of Oakland, bringing spiritual health classes directly to you all live. Before we get started, let's go over some helpful tips. You will see a small icon at the bottom of your screen that says chat. You will see a sidebar on the right hand side when you click the icon. At the bottom of the sidebar, you can actually type in any comments or questions that you might have during the session. This Zoom class will be recorded and broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube. So please take this time to change your Zoom name if you wish to be identified differently. This is a friendly reminder that by remaining in the Zoom meeting, you consent to allowing your image and photo, video, or film to be used for any legitimate purposes by the organizers, producers, sponsors, and assignees. Lastly, let's remember that this is Zoom. It is not perfect. Your sound or internet might cut out, but remember we are still here and you can always access us on Facebook Live. So if you experience any technical issues accessing our class, please give us a call at 510-255-0232 or email us at info@thegoodlifepath.org. And if you enjoyed today's conversation and wish to be a part of our live session, please support us by clicking on the link posted in the chat to get your free Zoom invitation and reminder to our next session. Because Mindful Mondays is open to all interested in creating a safe space to promote personal growth and advocate for spiritual and mental health awareness. We are committed to building a space for you to come together with others who are open to expand their consciousness. We are not trained therapists and cannot provide you with expert advice about your specific legal work or family situations. However, we can provide you with thoughtful opinions based on our personal experiences. This space is sacred and we expect our conversations to remain private. We ask that you speak respectfully towards one another and not tell group stories outside of our sacred space. We are not doctors and this is not a formal mental health guidance, but this is Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi, brought to you by UC Davis and the City of Oakland, bringing spiritual health classes directly to you all live.
Greetings and welcome for joining Mindful Mondays. Kimmy, the Good Life, and the City of Oakland. I am glad to have you all here with me today. I am actually coming to you from Enumclaw, Washington. I am presently in a retreat and wanted to take this time out to really share this message of the fall solstice and mindfulness and what that really means. But as always, if you are just joining me, I want you to take the time out to tap into your breath. We always start with a meditation. So as always, I will take my video off so that you can focus on what it is that you are actually going to be looking at. And in this time and space, you're actually going to be looking at the place that I am, which is near a creek. As the sun begins to set in this space, I really want you to take the time to think about what it is that you want to move forward on and what it is that you are leaving behind. A lot of the times we don't realize how much we're holding on to throughout the year. And we are in a collective year 9, month 9, and we have a day 9 coming up on the 27th. So in this space, I want you to just listen to nature's sounds, and I will not be playing any type of sound or anything outside of what nature is presenting. In this space, I will hold affirmations that can affirm you for this shift in the season so that you can also embrace the shift and changes that are coming within yourself. So if you could take a moment and take a couple of deep breaths, be with all that you are witnessing, whether it is the creek, the different arrays of green in the tree, the stone that you may see in the bottom left corner, the grass that is living, the grass that is becoming weeded or going through its process. But allow yourself to retreat inward for whatever inspiration that you need at this time. I also invite you to share your intentions with this space and this time. This is a period of regrouping, reevaluation, and rest. giving you the self-compassion, the care, and the recalibration and balance that you may need. So take a deep inhalation in and releasing it. Allow yourself to surrender any struggle that you may be dealing with. Allow yourself to embrace the emotions and nurture your instincts. Whatever may not be flowing at this time may because it is not the right time. It's a time to replace judgment with curiosity. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. At this time, if you are feeling any angst, what is this situation trying to teach me? What needs to fall away as the leaves begin to change colors and fall from its branches and its parts of the tree that's holding it up, twigs? Are you acknowledging your discomforts? Allow yourself to feel so that you can heal. Are you ready to change and embrace new patterns and new ways of being? And as the seasons change and the nights and the days are shorter because it gets darker earlier, do note that even darkness has its wonders. Allow yourself to feel in this space and continue to allow the sound of the creek, the babbling water that is flowing, to bring you to a space of letting go to move forward. Allow yourself to tap into the breath. Being present. Being in flow. Seeing things change and be different than what it has been in the previous 9 months. Give yourself gratitude for how far you've come in these last 9 months and years. Trusting and knowing that all will be well. Mm. Take a couple of deep breaths, bringing yourself back into your body and into the space. I want to take this time to again thank you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for chiming in to receive whatever is going to come to you in this sacred space. And so I just want to share a little bit about fall equinox. It is a natural transitioning point that offers a perfect opportunity for mindfulness practices to focus on balance, gratitude, reflection, as nature begins to draw inward and focus its roots. The reason why we want to align ourselves, because just as everything has seasons, so does the human body. But oftentimes we are so on a particular schedule because of work or life with family, friends. But this is a time to really guide yourself, ground yourself, be present, because these guided meditations that you can find, these grounding walks, even contemplative breathing, being very aware of your breath is very important at this time. Because this is going to help reconnect you to Earth's wisdoms and rhythms. And it can help cultivate an inner peace as you let go of the past year's challenges and set intentions for your future. So as we just sat and meditated with this creek, a creek is always forward motion. It's also around the time of the salmon run, which they are actually running upstream. And that medicine of the salmon was actually shared during this retreat that I'm at. So in what ways can we look to nature for our answers or for our comfort or for our understanding or understanding? And so I just want to share a few things during this time frame outside of setting intentions for the next 6 months. How can you set intentions for the next year or the next 3 months or whatever feels comfortable for you in this time and in this moment? I definitely encourage you, because equinox begins today at 11, if I'm not mistaken, around 11:41, maybe a little earlier. I could be off on time. But I want to invite you to some of these mindfulness practices that can potentially help you process the things that are falling from your tree. The practice of mindfulness walk is something that I was able to experience this weekend. Something where it is a slow pace, where you're going from heel to the middle of your foot, to the ball of your foot, and to your toes. And then lifting the next leg with the same pace. And in doing this mindfulness contemplative walk, it gave the opportunity to exercise muscles in my toes that have not been exercised, and even connect with the fact that these toes are connected to organs in my body. So the next time you take a couple of steps, and it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be like you're walking the neighborhood. These steps can be taken in your home for 2 minutes or even 5 minutes. The other one is the breath. Allowing yourself to tap into when you are holding your breath, when you have a resting breath, when your breath is light, when your breath may be even heavy and deep. So if you choose to do this, you can also incorporate that with the mindfulness walk. With each step you take forward is the inhale, and as you lift the next leg, it can be the exhale. Whatever that rhythm is. But in that moment, pay attention to, with the mindfulness walk, if you hear the leaves that you're stepping on, if you choose to do this outdoors, if your body starts to speak to you in whatever way your body may speak to you. Pay attention to the colors that you see around you. But it is being present in the moment. Another mindfulness tip could be an observation of nature. Just sitting outside, listening to the sounds and noticing the sights and the colors again, and the smells that you are smelling in the natural world. to allow the information to just pass through you without judgment, but to just be present. It rained here last night, so I am smelling the fresh dew. I'm smelling the moisture of the ground and the land. I'm also smelling the horse's manure that is around me. But in all of it is no judgment on the horse manure, is no judgment on the wet soil or ground. It is no judgment in any of it, but just embracing all that is in this moment. Another way during this time could be a reflection and a time of gratitude. Journaling and writing down what you're grateful for, what lessons you've learned during this time so far, and what you want to let go of as the year progresses before we end 2025. In this letting go, how can you be more contemplative? How can you visualize, for example, how the trees let go of their leaves to allow yourself to release past hurts or disappointments or limiting beliefs or anything that no longer serves you, someone else's stuff? In what ways can you truly, truly, truly let go of those things? In expressing gratitude, the gratitude could be for the summers and how much fun you had over the summer. How did nature support you this summer, or even spring, or even winter of 2024, or the early part January of 2025? In expressing and acknowledging these moments of growth and challenges, as well as blessings and lessons and bliss, this opportunity gives you the ability to give thanks in order to receive more. If we are not grateful for what we already have and have been through, then we are unable to receive more. And so I invite you to those two practices. Another practice in regards to setting the intentions as you move forward. What is your ritual? Do you create your own ritual to consciously set the intentions for the year ahead? In what ways can you focus on more constructive, compassionate, and artful actions during this time? Another thing that you can do in setting these intentions could be visualizing the change. What needs to change? What positive change do you desire to have in your life? And how can you take the pause and breathe deeply into accepting and embracing these transitions? Because sometimes change is difficult. I can attest to that. Change has been and can be difficult, but it is the acceptance and the gratitude that allows for the change to bring more expansion in all that I do. And again, it is the gratitude that brings more. Another thing that I will invite you into doing at this time over the next course of the week is connecting with your inner wisdom. How can you use this wisdom of nature and the energy of the equinox to align you with nature's rhythms? As I sit here, I am witnessing birds and the sun open up in the sky and various different things, but it is also helping me to connect with myself in various ways and acknowledging the flow of the blood through my body, the flow of the breath through my body, just as the bird uses the air to soar through the air. As the sun brings light to moments when I may feel dark or darkness upon me, I understand how the sun is still shining behind the clouds or the shadow or what appears to be dark. So in this, it fosters a personal growth and deeper connection with yourself when you listen to nature's wisdom. So again, I invite you to consider some of these things that may be able to assist you process these last 3 months of 2025. There's so much going on in the collective at this present time where our energy is attempting to be redirected into a place of darkness with all of the things that is causing discomfort culturally, psychologically, mentally, socially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But it is understanding and understanding and knowing that we are only in control of our own energy, and we have the power to shift that energy and see what we should focus on and what we should not focus on. And at this time, we want to give more to the light within us. And as we shine our light within ourselves, we are able to go out into our communities and continue to share that light from a place of being full and whole. Now, there is a spiritual meaning. Again, this is a time for introspection, preparation, and gratitude for the harvest of both physical and spiritual nourishment. The land has physically nourished us in so many different ways, where there's country, and that tends to happen. See, Daisy. But the land has nurtured us, and there are some people that are unable to eat at this present moment, and they may be starving. So there's people that have been in solidarity doing moments of fast and detox. So maybe it is that you take the time to detox for a moment. It could be a day that you choose to detox. It could be 3 days that you choose to detox. It could be 7 days. And detoxing doesn't necessarily mean that your fast is from food. It could be fasting from watching particular type of television shows or entertaining particular energy that you always entertain. It could be fasting from beverages that you are always having, coffee, alcohol, soda. It could be a thought process that you need to fast from. And every time you come up, you have an affirmation to remove that thought process. But in whatever way you need to do that for yourself, this is the time for doing that. There are so many different moments and spiritual things that you can do, i.e., lighting a candle, baking, taking time to write down the things again that you are grateful for. Oftentimes, this season brings in change and uncertainty. So again, be gentle and graceful with yourself in this process. Again, it is a time for new beginnings. It is time to pollinate your spiritual consciousness by even coming together in community and offering gratitude together with someone. This is a beautiful time, again, to set intentions and allow change. So in this, I'd like to invite some questions that may kind of you can kind of sit with to see how you can bring the balance into your life during this season. Because you may have two extremes. The first question is asking yourself during this time, what keeps you balanced? While the idea that can only bring balance during this time, it is a time, again, that you can utilize this. And how do you maintain your practice and your balance? What practices keep you feeling nourished, and how often do you need them to avoid being burnt out and keep your well filled? How can you recommit to integrating self-care during this time? Another question that you can ask yourself is, what keeps you warm? Is it yoga? Is it the practice of the breath and bringing in the inner heat? Is it cooking moist, warming grains and soups during this time? Is it using spices such as cinnamon, cumin, ginger, cloves, mustard seed, black pepper, cardamom, and basil? Because this is a time to switch from cooling coconut oil to warming sesame seed oil. when it comes to giving yourself a self massage. Another question that you can ask is, how can I come into greater alignment with nature? How can you adjust your daily routine so that you can rise earlier, maybe with the sun, or begin to wind down a little bit earlier as the darkness arrives? This rhythm, again, is to be in alignment with nature. The next question you can ask yourself is, where am I in my life? What cycle are you in? Is this a cycle that has repeated itself? Does this repeated cycle look a bit different? Because again, this is a time of life when we begin to shift towards the deepest work, because it's a dark time in the sky and in nature. But it's also a place of service and sharing and connection, because we have holidays coming up. And so how can you take a moment to be compassionate and have a clear-eyed look at where you are in your life, where you can take steps to come closer to what you most want to be doing? And whether it's your career, your relationships, creative expression, personal growth, whatever that may be, what is that? And the last question, can I surrender to the new season? A lot of people love the summer. A lot of people hate the winter and the fall. So it can be a moment where it's hard to say goodbye. But in this time, how can you trust the process and offer an opportunity to work with this moment of change and to accept what is changing versus having an aversion or resistance to change? How could things look different if you simply let things go of what came before and be open to what the next season is to bring? I want to pause to allow space to process all that was just shared, because those are some very intense and deep questions. For some, this time may bring up nostalgia, seeing your grandmother cook certain meals, and in remembering your lineage and the maternal lineage or paternal lineage, you begin to do things that remind you of them or thoughts. Yes, we understand that this can season and this solstice can bring in sadness. It can bring in a lot of various different aspects of our physical and mental well-being, particularly even our brain function, mood, and our sleep patterns. We also want to into that. So as we welcome in this change, what's in your toolbox? What seeds are you planting during this season? Because there is a harvest that does come in the fall. It is a beautiful time to let go and be with what is versus attempting to create what is not. It is a moment of change. It is an opportunity to grow and shift. So in that, how can you be more graceful with yourself? I definitely want to share more of what is coming through the area that I'm sitting in as the sun begins to peek through the trees. Take in this energy as you think of these questions. And even if you have not written them down or you're just listening, I'm going to repeat the questions again to give an opportunity to be able to really sit with that as you listen to this creek, as you watch whatever catches your eye, whether it's the wavering of the leaves on the trees, if you are able to see and witness the wind, The flow of how the water is hitting on the long grass that is the barriers to this creek. What keeps you balanced? Allowing yourself to sit with that question. What keep you balanced? And are you implementing those things that keep you balanced? And if not, how can you make time and space to do so? What keeps you warm other than layers of clothes and blankets and gloves and mittens and all the things? Long socks. Is it the herbs? Is it the food that you eat during the season? Third question again. How can I come into greater alignment with nature? How can I come into greater alignment with nature? If there is a specific type of insect, bug, flower, tree, space in nature that stands out to you during this season, maybe explore more of what that particular thing in nature may bring. You can look up the spiritual meaning of a said thing or study the herb and see how it helps and what different meals that the herb can go into. If it's a flower, what does that flower essence bring and why is that showing up for you at this time? The fourth question being, where am I in my life? I offer and I invite you to be present in the now when that question comes up. Because sometimes we desire to be further than we are supposed to be in this present moment. But being honest with where you are, if it is a sense of melancholy, if it is a sense of, I am not where I want to be, the question is then to prepare to get to where you want to be and having a plan, an intention in order to have clarity. And in order to do that, the question and final question is, can I surrender to the new season? Just as the river may pick up certain things, and I've seen here, even the bees or little our winged feathers, feathered friends are, and even if they're not feathered, just the winged friends that may get caught up in this stream and they're flapping their wings trying to get out. It eventually goes with the flow, just like that of the leaves that may fall in the creek. It goes with the flow. It doesn't try to go back to be attached to the tree. It has done its duty. It's had its season. Even with the grass that you see, the parts that are no longer green, their season has expired to allow new to come in at some point. Again, not at the pace of the human mind, but the pace of what nature brings. So I invite you, as you look at this creek and hear my voice, to allow the flow to be in your life, to allow the change to be in your life, to allow expansion to be in your life, to surrender to the time of self-care and nurturing, to the time of going inward, to the time of letting go. This is nature in all of its beauties. To be present in this knowing, trusting the process, and knowing that your process will look different from any individual that you encounter. And although different, there is wisdom in those differences. So, how can we be open to be more compassionate during this time? To hold space for our loved ones, the loved ones that may be grieving the loss of their loved one, or even grieving parts of themselves because of the change and transformation that is upon their life. This is mindfulness during the season. This is awareness during the season. If you intend to incorporate the fast for some reason, the sweetness and sweet cravings may increase during this time. So even be mindful of that. How can you bring sweetness to your own life in this moment without going to the sugars and things that can create dis-ease in the body in any way, shape, or form? Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to trust. And allow yourself to know that your inner wisdom will speak up during this time, and to sit still to hear the inner wisdom if you are unable to. Again, allow yourself to again find the balance and transition into this beautiful time to harvest and nourish yourself. Hmm. Continue to acknowledge yourself. Continue to reflect. Continue to be present in the moment. Continue to, again, take the time out to be grateful for all the things that you are grateful for. I am just present in this moment and grateful to share this space and energy with you this time. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Please be gentle with yourselves during this time. Please be forthright and truthful and honest with your communication with self so that you can be truthful and honest in your communication with others. I am so grateful and full in this moment that I appreciate you again for always showing up for Mindful Mondays. We all want the good life, and it's simple to have if we just tap in and allow things to be, to let go, to remember that each day is an opportunity as we inhale the unseen and exhale those things that are also unseen internally, for the breath of life is what sustains us. The elements of nature are within us. So be sure to take time to be in nature as the seasons change and look at all the beautiful arrays of colors as they shift, to embrace the change within yourself and in this time frame and with your family and loved ones. Thank you again for joining me on Mindful Mondays, brought to you by The Good Life in the City of Oakland. I envision that you will have an amazing week of reaffirmation, realignment, reclaiming those things and ways of your ancestral lineage and inner wisdom as you trust this process of change. Have a good one and see you soon.